Welcome to the Beverly Hills Plastic Surgery Podcast. I'm Dr. Jay Calvert, and I am here today for a very special podcast because I am with my amazing and gracious co-host, Dr. Millicent Ravello. How are you, Dr. Ravello?
I'm super gracious.
You are.
How are you?
I'm pretty gracious also, and happy to be here because we have a guest.
We do have a guest. We are very excited.
You don't want her to sit here awkwardly.
I know. So we're going to introduce her first, because otherwise that'd be weird.
Do you want to introduce her?
So this is Dr. Hillary Jenny. Dr. Jenny is visiting us from
Johns Hopkins,
and originally from Wisconsin. And so Dr. Jenny is visiting us here at the Roxbury Clinic and Surgery Center because she is a potential fellow coming to check out the scene and see if she might want to join us for her fellowship in a year or two.
Yeah, and we're not going to grill every fellow.
No, this is not the usual standard operating procedure.
She walked into this.
I know. We're like, hey, what are you doing? You're not leaving till tomorrow,
pressure.
Right?
No pressure. Just got to nail it on the podcast. Otherwise, the fellowship is out the window. Forget it.
But the reason we have the lovely Dr. Jenny on is because we were going to talk today about how one becomes a plastic surgeon and what the steps are to get there and exactly like who we are. Like, how did we get here? What are our credentials? Like, are we even doctors? So that's what the impetus of this was. And it just so happened that Dr. Jenny was here. So it all worked out pretty well.
So welcome, Dr. Jenny. How
Welcome.
Are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great.
Good.
Yeah.
Are you also feeling gracious? Because I have a gracious co-host.
Doubly gracious, yeah.
That's good. Well, we go through a lot to become plastic surgeons.
Mm-hmm. We do. There's a lot of hoop jumping.
There's a lot of steps.
There's a lot of steps to get here, which, and I say this all the time, it cracked me up. But when I was going through all of these hoops, which we will get to, I remember my mom very distinctly being like, I didn't even realize plastic surgeons were doctors. As I'm like taking my like 5th board exam and getting like very little sleep and like trying to get this position and I didn't even realize plastic surgeons were doctors. So I'm guessing she's probably not alone in that sentiment. So
that's true.
Let's talk about sort of how we get here and what are those hoops?
Well, first of all, I think let's establish where Dr. Jenny is in the process. So,
but we haven't even gone through the process yet.
But that's why I want to come up to it.
Okay, fine.
You want to go through the process?
I want to go through the process. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense.
Fine. So, first things first. You were born.
I was born.
What was that like?
Yeah. From what I can remember, it was a little wet and a little loud.
It was loud. And then you grew up, went to high school, went to undergraduate college, which took you 7 years, 8 years. How long was undergrad?
Oh, you're assuming I graduated. But
See? There you go.
Yeah.
So usually 4 years. Did you do it in 4?
I did in 4.
There are options to do med school and undergrad combined, which you would actually do your undergrad and medical school usually in 6 years. I know BU has some program like that.
Yep.
But you did a traditional undergrad and you majored in?
I double majored in neuroscience and music.
And this was where?
MIT.
She's a smarty pants.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay,
fine. So,
next.
you're smart. Got it. That's brilliant.
So 4 years at MIT, double major in music and neuroscience.
Yep.
Okay. And then...
Which was easy, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
It's a piece of cake.
And so then what happened after undergrad?
After undergrad, I went to med school. So I went to the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. I did 4 years of medical school there, but I also got an MPH. So I got that concurrently during my first 2 years. And then I decided to take a research year once I decided I wanted to go into plastic surgery.
So the MPH, that's interesting. Did you do that? Was that like an offering of Sinai, or did you just say, I think I'm going to do this while I'm doing this?
Yeah, they had an MPH program. And so it was October, I think, of my first year of med school, and I just kind of wanted to do something in addition or something else. And so I
because med school was too easy.
Yeah, piece of cake.
Clearly.
I've always been interested in public health, so I don't know. Yeah, I missed it. So, I asked if I could join a little bit late. And they said, well, midterms are in a week and a half, but like if you're willing to take them in a week and a half, you can join. And I said, sure, okay. So I joined 2 classes, and then I really liked it, and I stuck through it.
So MPH is a master's in public health, just to clarify, which is great. That's awesome.
And so then you applied to medical school. I mean, after after medical school, you applied for your residency.
Yes.
Which is where we're up to now. So, undergrad, MIT, med school, Sinai in New York.